All right, we are at the top of the hour, so we're going to go ahead and get started. We have a lot of content to go over today, so I want to make sure that I give our presenters plenty of time to do that. Some real quick logistical information. So as always, this is for you. We try to bring fresh ideas and better understanding and practical guidance to everything that we can inside of platform analytics and some other things as well. This is recording, so it'll be out in the community event later on today. And of course, it'll be on our YouTube channel. So it'll be posted publicly. So if that is an issue for your company with your attendance, then you might want to go ahead and drop. Lastly, Q&A, please ask questions. Make sure that let's try to ask those in the Q&A section of the Zoom meeting if possible, rather than the chat. We do have panelists that are on as well, and we'll try to answer those questions as they come in. If it's a question that is relevant to the specific topic that we're talking about at that moment, then we'll try to stop the presenter and ask that question. But like I said, we do have quite a bit of content to cover today and quite a few demos as well. So it will be good information. So with that, I am Thomas Davis. I am the host. Today we have Marta and Olga on, and they're going to do some presentations and demos in our part 2 of new features in San Diego. Secondly, there are panelists, like I said, that are on the call as well. So Adam and Tara and Dan are all here as well. So we'll answer questions as we can. So with that, I'll pass it over to whoever's sharing first.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Thomas. I will start. So you should be able to see the presentation.
Yeah, we can see it. You're good.
Great. Then welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. It's me and Olga today, and we will present you some of the new features we are releasing with San Diego. So I will do the new teaming support for performance analytics and reporting, and then I will then pass the presentation to Olga that will talk more about the dynamic configuration for data visualization and new visualization types that we have, and some data and styling configuration options. So starting with the new teaming support, you will see, and San Diego is now general availability from today, that we have done a lot of improvement in the look and feel of the entire ServiceNow instance with the Next Experience UI, and we have also done improvements also for our performance analytics and reporting pages, the reports and PA widgets. So whenever you enable the Next Experience UI, you will get the new default colors and stylings, as well as we have updated some of the chart icons that are available throughout the report designer, the report home list, dashboard overview, dashboard picker, and the add widget panel that we have in the dashboard. We've also updated the look and feel for the interactive filters. The multi-select now has more of a appeal look and feel, and as well we have updated for the scorecard, the single score, as well as the report multi-pivot. Another change that is coming, but this is more regarding the theming support in charts, is that we now have support for themes, so that you can brand your instance in the best way possible, and that also applies for the chart colors. So the chart colors can be also allow customers to have the default colors changed per each theme that you might have, and also the fact that we are supporting for the Next Experience configurable workspaces the colors that might be on a light or dark theme. We also need to have a different color palette based on like the color brightness. So when you might switch to a dark theme, then you will actually see a brighter set of colors for your charts, so you have good visibility. So what we have added in the system to support the theming in the current colors and the chart colors that we have is that we have added a color in the color definition table. We have added a new field that is called themable color that can be linked to a variable. So this field is optional. So it's actually, if it's left empty, we will actually use the hex value of the color definition. Well, instead there is a variable, and you are in the next experience UI, we will actually pick the color that is coming from the theme variable that is connected to it. So everywhere where we are using the chart color scheme, or like the colors itself, so where that color definition table is used, we are always using the variables if they are linked to the color record. And now I will do a little bit of a demo and show you some things that have changed. So let me start first as a look and feel. Or could be your Rome instance, or could be your Paris instance, and you can see that there are like a multi-pivot, the score list for PA, and the different templates for the single score, a little bit bolder, like font, and different design for where the information were. And now if we go to San Diego, you can already see that, well, the menus are a little bit different. We have a unified navigation. When we go to the dashboard overview, we have a different layout, different position of the buttons, and the different icons now have like a monochromatic style, so they could fit any theme that you might have in the instance. I will open the theming updates to show you a bit like the multi-pivot look and feel. It's a little bit more sleek, with lighter colors and over design, as well as for the scorecard. There is a different set of over and colors for the links. And for the single score, we have aligned a little bit more the templates, lighter font, and a different font family, and as well we have the templates are more consistent with each other, and the information are packed similarly. The template one, it's mostly left aligned, then we have the center, and the template 3 has always been the one without the spark line behind. What you can also see from, if we go to the report designer, is that we have also updated the look and feel all throughout the report designer, and new icons also have been provided for the type of reports that you can configure. And now going instead to the charts and to the chart colors. As you know from the properties in performance analytics, the colors are connected to this. This is the default chart color scheme that we have, that is connected to default UI 14. And for reporting, it's actually another reports. It's another set of properties that defines also which are kind of the colors that we go through first for each data set, and the color list names. So for those chart color schemes, so that you can see the chart color schemes over your reports or the one in performance analytics, but they are actually connected to the same table. We have updated the default and the default UI 14 and the colors that have inside to actually connect to a themable color. So if I open the color definition, you can see that there is this new record over here that is connected to a variable that it's a UX theme property. So this is like the variable name that is connected to the DataVis color blue. So it as whenever the next experience UI is enabled, then we will use this themable color. If this field is removed or the next experience UI is disabled, then we will use this X color. And I can show you from a report. So I will create right now a bar. Yep. So let me create this bar chart. I will group by category. And you can see this is like the current color, the lighter blue, because it's coming from this default color. If I go to the color, then I can see that there is themable records. I will open it in another tab, and I will remove and update this color definition. So now if I actually refresh the page, it will be the darker color that is coming from the X color field. And similar, it will be happening for the PA widgets. We have I will go to the incident management, and these are the PA widget. But then if I actually can decide to change the color and set another color scheme over here, that will override the current colors that they have. So for example, this will take priority over the default. And now it's in a shade of green. Or if I change the default UI 14 definition, so if in the default UI 14 I change my second, it will be green. Over here, let's do this, change this to not connect anymore to the variable. So in this case, it will go back to the darker blue. So if I refresh, then you can see that it's back to the darker blue. And if I change also the chart color too, not to be yellow anymore, like this one is connected to the green, but the quantitative one, it's actually connected to the orange, then I will actually see, instead of yellow over here, then I will see a green box. And that's all from my side. And this is regarding just to do for the theming. So you have all the capability to create themes and variables connected to the theme. So like you can find all the colors and you can configure the colors, and you create new themes and new style sheet that will contain all the colors, and you can override those colors for your brand, to brand your instance at the best. Thank you very much. And Olga, back to you.
Marta. The next topic I would like to share is some changes in the data visualization component. Just to remind, that the visualization component is a new visualization component in Next experience, where you can visualize data based on the table, what you could do previously in the report, or data based on the indicators, an alternative to PA widgets. So this is a way how you will visualize your data in the Next experience. One of the big changes we did in San Diego release is to allow more dynamic configuration. So previously it was similar how you had it in the reports and peer widgets. You can statically configure your table, your indicator, all your configuration, your group by, etc. What we allow now, and this is of course a little bit more of the pro features for the people who knows a little bit about scripting or ServiceNow developers in your companies. You can create completely dynamic experiences that you can make any configuration property of the chart dynamic. It can be, you can make table or indicator dynamic or filter dynamic or anything else like metric, trend by, group by, any styling settings. Absolutely everything can be dynamic now. And it will allow you to create really dynamic experience with embedded analytics, where the data will change based on some user selection during use of your application or based on the navigation path of where the user is coming from. And we'll share the slides afterwards, of course. You can, there's a link to the generic way how this dynamic configuration works. Is generic capabilities of the UI builder. You can learn more about this. And now let me show a little bit how we do it in the for the visualization. First, a quick demo of a simple example how it can look. So I have a page where I have one single score and some user selections which can define which single score will be used. I have two indicators here, number of open incidents and backlog growth. And you can see that based on my user selection, the chart is changing. So it's pretty simple. It's probably not the first use case you're going to do, but you can imagine it can be based on where I navigated from the previous page, or really just based on some selection, you can easily analyze different information and change your UI based on this. So how do we do it? So to allow this configuration, we generally change a little bit the UI of the configuration panel. If you tried it before, we had two tabs here. Now you can see you have configuration, you have chart type where you can select, and you have three sections. First one is header and border, then you have some data and presentation. And you can see for every single settings, you have options to do it statically, which is default, but you have options to make it use dynamic data binding or the scripting. And what dynamic data binding does is generic capabilities of the UI builder is allow you based on the state of the page, based on any script you can think of. So it can make based on the user, based on the time of the day, whatever your fantasy allows you, you can change the value of the properties. In this case, you can see I make dynamic chart title, data source, and a metric label, and they're coming from the state. So in the state, I have three state parameters: the title with some default value, the data source, and metric with a default value. The trick is, as long as you make data source dynamic, and data source is your indicator or your table, you will have to do all the related configuration dynamic as well. So if my data source is dynamic, I will have to make metric dynamic as well. And after that, I'm having a script, which is pretty much will populate based on the selection of the of my radio button here. It will choose, it will update the state, and the properties is updated and chart is updated for the user. How it's linked here, you can see I have here a simple radio button component in the UI builder where I added two options, two indicators. And in the events based on the selection, I link the script. So again, it's a bit pro feature. If there is an interest from the customers, we can maybe have a separate session for different use cases. You can reach out to Thomas for the more feedback. We can set something more detailed. But how generally this data binding works, again, is in the link in the presentations, which will be shared with you. And going back to the less advanced features, the features which can be used for anybody. We added new chart type. So the new chart type available in the Next experience is indicator scorecard. And this is an alternative in Next experience for the visualizations of the PA widgets through different visualization in PA widgets in the indicator scorecard, breakdown scorecard, and pivot scorecard. So where you can visualize either list of your indicators or the breakdowns of the specific indicator or combination of indicator with the breakdowns. You can analyze just the scores within those, or you can, like as an example here, you can visualize more information about latest score, previous scores, change gaps and trend, etc. So let's quickly look into it. So to access this component, you go to the indicator scorecard component. And you see by default, it will show all the indicators. So by default, you have the source is a condition based, meaning that you show all indicators from your indicator table, and you can apply condition to this table. So maybe just based on name of the indicator, based on some tag, based on group it's assigned to, or any other field from the indicator table. And you have some other options. You can do it based on the indicator group or based on the manually select. So you can just add manually several indicators. Let's go for the manual selections. So here it's the same experience of the selecting indicator as in the old data visualizations. So let's say I want to see open incidents. Then you can select a breakdown. Let's say I want to see the priority. So by default, you can see the priority is a level under, the breakdown is a level under your indicator. But in this case, let's say I don't want to, I will have only one indicator. I just want to see breakdowns directly. So you have the toggle here to show only breakdowns. And I see just breakdowns directly. Again, I can have up to 2 breakdowns for now, since we have a limitation on the PA. You can have 2 breakdowns, and here you can add which fields you want to have, which columns. So big set of columns available. It's pretty much all the settings you have today in the indicator and breakdown scorecards in the PA widget with some extra options. And of course, you can define the time aggregations you want to use, the way how you want to sort, and some additional presentation settings. As pagination, how many rows will be on the page. You can choose your color scheme, define some stylings if you want to have like.
Hey, Olga, can I just jump in really quick because I want to address this comment that was made by one of our anonymous attendees. I think it's great that you're showing this, but I think we need to be very clear that this is for advanced system admin users, not the regular PA admin would not have to go through this, that there'll be a different experience for them. Yeah, I mean, let's talk about that.
It's currently available, this component, together with data visualization component, is currently available in the UI builder, which is an advanced experience for the developer admin kind of persona. And it's available in the dashboard builder, which is still a bit pro user persona. And we are, I think, communication wise, Tara, we are asking not to adopt it yet. Wait till Tokyo.
Right.
So let's say this is something for you to see that's coming. And if you are in contact, probably you can get access to it. If you're open to start creating these pages, you can get access to it on your dev instance. You probably will not get access to this role on your production instance to be able to create those.
Absolutely. So to be clear, this UI builder experience that you're showing now is for if a customer wants to create a workspace that has embedded analytics visualizations within that workspace, then they would leverage this tool, which is definitely something that's available for developers, pro users. So we want our community to be aware that this is something that's out there. This is how the new experiences will be developed, but definitely not what we expect our PA specific team to be leveraging. We have something coming out for you in Tokyo called the Dashboard Inline Editor, which we can absolutely follow, do something along those lines later for everyone. But just to be very clear, this is not, we aren't expecting you to know scripting. We aren't expecting you to be advanced. We just want you to know that this is actually a possibility that what didn't exist before. Before, it was extremely complicated to make things personalized and embed visualizations and make things more unique to the customer's needs. So now we've made it put it in the developer's hands to have that capability. And it's important for everybody to understand that now.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? Okay.
And the scripting is definitely will and stay admin developer kind of feature. But this UI, which you see here, will just have it in the different place, that it will not have set complicating things around it. But the way how you configure indicate scorecard in the coming release, which will be coming in the dashboard and more end user visualization creation experience will stay pretty much the same.
Absolutely. Awesome. Okay, thanks. I just wanted to touch on that in case anyone else was thinking that and we're getting completely terrified. So great. Thank you, Olga.
Thank you, Tara. Yeah, that's the first new data visualization. And then the second one is the calendar report. Again, similar to the calendar reporting in your reporting, we want to have an easy way for you in the next experience to create a calendar kind of visualization where you can put the records or events from the data stored in ServiceNow tables in the calendar view. And this one is pretty straightforward as well. You will go here to add the calendar. So we have calendar and calendar report. The calendar is what was available before, but it was not an easy way. So you can see you need to pass a JSON of the actual data, not something that typical users would like to do. If you just want to visualize data from your ServiceNow table, what you can now do in the calendar report, much easier experience. You have some fields where you can add some title and description. And you just select your table. You can select predefined conditions, your report source, and you can add with the condition builders, you can add just standard conditions on your table. You select start date and end date of the event. The end date is optional. So if you want to do it based on just start dates, that is not stretching over the period of time, but have it similar how it was in the classic reporting, then it's just one data point. You can do it as well. You can add some which fields will be used to display. So here you can see that I have number shown and the short description available. You can add more event display field and some settings what your default view, if you want filters to be working with this, if you want to hide configured filters on it. And yeah, that's what your users will see in your workspace. Is this component. So once you click, you will see here all the events for selected period. You can switch, of course, to your weeks, etc. You can see the filters if I apply it here. And yeah, that's pretty straightforward, the calendar report. Great. Jumping into the next section. We'll not go to this slide in that details. We have a bunch of new configuration options added, new data styling, etc. Not gonna stop that much in the slides. Let's just better go to the instance and view how it looks. The first one is possibility to visualize data based on the metric base as a source. And again, it's in the data visualization component. We can, if you select time series data visualization, and your application has metric base installed. For those who don't have it, metric base is highly used in the ITOM applications. It allows you to visualize high intensity data over time. If it's like you think of your server monitors, memory, CPU, etc. So you now have here, in addition to tables and indicators, you have now your metric based tables. So let's say I want to select Linux server as one of the table configured in metric base for me. Here's pretty straightforward experience. You can add some conditions on the table itself to maybe sort which exactly IP addresses I want to do, or filter it by the operating system, etc., or whatever is available in your table. And once configured, you would see different configuration options. It's the same. It's a very similar level of capabilities you had in the reporting for the metric base. On the metric, you can choose which metric for these tables will be used. It's based on your configuration in the metric base. Add some transforms like its average, min, max, count, and lots of others. And of course, you can maybe add multiple data sources, multiple metrics, add some group bys, date range, etc. So pretty much all the configuration you used to have in the reporting is now available in the next experience for easy way to present visualize metric-based data. Jumping to the next configuration option. If we one of the next configuration options is to for your formula indicators, visualizing data based on formula indicators. Previously, we only allowed to have single select, like here only operator is was available. Starting from San Diego release, you can also use for formula indicators multi-select, or you can use element filters if configured. So for example, if I would have assignment group, I have some element filters, it will have is dynamic. Quick note, it will only be available if your indicator configured to allow multi-element select. And let me quickly show where it's done. On your indicator, in the formula indicator on the other tab, you have this setting, allow aggregation of multiple breakdown element scores. So if this one is checked, then the multi-select will be available for you. And the multi-select, it's also is working in Classic as well in the nicer way this release. Previously, it was just summing up the result of the formula, which was not often the right way. What it does now, if I select, for example, priority, and I select is one off, let's say it's critical, you can see that it's 622 days. And then if I add high, getting less, because what it does, it actually will take this element and will apply this element filter in each element of the formula and apply formula on top of this. This way, the result is more accurate and what user would expect.
Hey, Olga.
Yeah.
A question came in that I think is probably relevant to where you're at, and it is, after upgrading to San Diego, do the new UI builder features apply to old landing pages created in previous releases, or do those old pages have to be recreated in the new UI builder?
If we are if those were already created in the whatever was configured in the UIB in UI builder, those are upgraded automatically, and you will have all these new features. Your configuration is not changed, so whatever was configured before is not going to change automatically. But if you then go edit this page and you want to apply one of the new features, you just open it. It's available. Just toggle off the box or whatever the features looks like, and you can easily apply it. But like if you not going to apply it for you, right, to make sure that it's smooth upgrade for you, after upgrade nothing is changed, your configuration is stayed as is. So we try not to do any unexpected changes for you.
Okay, great, thank you.
Let me see. The next change is for the time series. We have a new type of the time series. So here, in addition to the previously available, you have scatter time series. So where every data point will be shown as separately. And if you have multiple series, the visual will be different. The first one is dot, then the next one is cross, etc. And of course, you can, as previously, you can combine different chart types. So if so, you can have line chart and the scatter chart applied for the different series if needed. But then one of the new changes we do for the time series based on the table as a data source is possibility to trend by minute. So previously, you were able, the lowest level of the aggregation period for the reporting data was days. You of course had hour of the day, but it will just show 24 hours, right? It will not actually, if you want to show 2 or 3 days, it just will show these hours. So in the minute, we have this minute as aggregation options, and you can select some intervals. You can do every 1 minute, every 15 minutes, every 30 minutes, or every 60 minutes. So here you can see every 60 minutes, so it's pretty much every hour, and you can see it over. So if it will go, data will go over multiple days, you will see those standard time series over multiple days. And you can notice that for the day, for the periods where you don't have anything happen. So in this case, I don't have any incidents created at 7 o'clock. We still have a data point. So you actually have always, no matter which aggregation you're using, you have accurate representation of your time series. You don't have skipped days, skipped hours, skipped minutes. You will see actual time series as is. Going to the next chart, in the bar chart, we have some new options. First of all, it's actually for bar chart and donut chart. We have as some truncation configuration options which were highly requested for a lot of time. So here for the x-axis, you see I can have quite a lot long labels. So we have new options to wrap label. It's false by default, right? And you have also the max label size. So for example, if I want to make it longer, it's a size in the pixels, I can make it longer. And if I do have a truncation, I want to have quite long chart, I can choose where it will truncate. Will it truncate it at the end, at my dots are at the end, at the start, or at the middle? So based on your data, if, for example, your beginning of your element is always the same, you might want to truncate it in the beginning, that you always see the end, etc. those kind of settings available in the bar chart and in the pie charts family as well. So you can have a more control on for your loan labels and how they are presented. And we have also a new chart variation for the when you have stacked chart. You used to have stacked and side by side. Now we have also the normalized option where it will be always stretched to 100%. And we have a lot of smaller things. I will not go probably through all of them, but to show some, you have options to hide the axis grid fully. You have an option to control show hide grid. Again, it's all charts, like all grid related charts. So it's time series bar charts. You can control your grid and your axis. For the axis itself, you can also control the style. So you can have the clean look where you will, you can see you don't have any more line or ticks. In the standard one, you can see both line and ticks available, and you can still just keep line, but no ticks. Again, there's options available in all the charts which have the axis. We have also some options in the for the chart title. If you have maybe quite narrow chart with a very long title, you will have also option to wrap chart title. I can show it here. Let's see if it's long enough, not long enough. So you can see by default, it used to have always one option to truncate if it's too long, but now you can choose to wrap it, and it will go as many lines as needed to fit all the text. For some other options in the donut chart,
Olga, real quick,
yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
As you're talking about the labels and the wrapping and all that stuff. So question came in, it says, are the wrap labels label size getting added to the reports interface as well, or just the UI builder?
No, it's only available at the moment in the UI builder. Hopefully in the coming releases, once it's available for all users to use, you can slowly move to it to help it. So one of the reasons of creating the new frameworks of the visualization is to have more flexibility to add those kind of settings much easier. So whenever in the future you ask for the new enhancement, you hopefully don't have to wait that long. Sorry for that. For all who had to wait. So it's just some also technical issues to add it in the classic reporting. So pretty much all the improvements, most of the improvements are done now in the next experience, except of all the data layer. They're done, of course, across the board, but like new styling and UI configuration, I think more effort in the next experience nowadays. And for the Pie Donut family, we have some also new interesting legend level settings. So in the legends, you can see now the legend is always, if it's below the chart, it's always horizontally aligned. So you can see it's like 2 lines. But in case you have, let's say, long and narrow donut or pie, you might want to have an options to have it aligned vertically. And you might want to have an option to put the values at the same line. So it's depending on the layout you use on your page and where this donut is located, different options can be more beneficial for you. And And here, as I mentioned, once if you would enable the data labels, you would have also options for the max label size and the truncation, similar as you as I showed you on the bar chart. Yeah, I guess there's some extra options, like some to show some more styling controls. We have some extra configuration for your Sparkline, so you can choose between line and area visualization for your Sparkline. I think it's too short for me. Let me make it a bit bigger. It's the wrong settings anyways, but you can see that it's slightly different. It's yeah, there's some extra controls over settings. Yeah. Is there any questions we can answer, or is it, or you guys answering along the way?
Yeah, everyone's been answering along the way, and then of course the ones that I asked you. So you can keep going unless you're done, and we can open it up to anything else.
I think I covered most of them. I think there's like some smaller settings along the way, which probably we can skip. But yeah, if people have any questions, we can go deeper in any topic.
Let's address Dima's question right now. So what they originally asked was, in order to redirect the drill down to either a list of records or KPI details, that's now an option. It's not an option for PA developers. It's an option if within a workspace, a system admin got a request to now be able to choose where the drill down goes. That's who that's for, right? That's who that the user is intended to do that. Is that correct? So I know, Marta, you answered the original question, and I think this was an ask that PA admins had in historically, right? Can I change where my next level, when I drill into a widget, can I change what comes up? Can I go to a breakdown list? Can I go to a list of records? Can I go to another, like all these options that they had asked for before? We're now saying that is actually available now, but however, it is really for a sysadmin that's developing a workspace. That would be a requirement you would need to feed. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So now it's available in the UI builder here on the solution clicked. You can define the event handler, and you can define pretty much anything will happen on click, right? I'm just passing then the data point, and then as a developer, you can choose to do anything. You can trigger some workflows. You can have a pop-up opening with some information. It can just drill down to the list with passing this conditions related to this data point or to the KPI details.
So I think clarification. No, go ahead, Tara.
Well, so I was going to say, so Dima, this was something that was always something that would be only available to sysadmin developers within the platform, but it wasn't easy to do before. And so it became a challenge if a PA admin was working with the developer and wanted to make the dashboard a little bit more customized and a little bit more, the functionality a little bit more personalized. It was not an easy thing to do. So now we've made it a lot easier. However, it is a lot easier for system admins and developers. So we would recommend that any PA admins in that space would work with the developer to get that next, make that next customization for your environment, which whatever works best for you. I think, I hope that answers your question. Go ahead, Dan. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, because I think, and Dima, we may want to take them off, take her off mute just to verify. But I'm wondering if part of the question is there a default way is there still a default method that, when I build a data visualization, it just defaults to a list or something like that? Rather than, or am I required for any visualization to have to create a scripted event to
Yes, you hit it right on the nose. That's
Yeah.
what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
Is there a
so-
default? And if there isn't, then I guess the scripting is required, which adds on the cost of developing all this.
Let me answer. For the when you build the experiences in the UI builder, when you build your experiences, there's currently no default, but you can create a generic script which you just add to the page, and you just select here a script which will have kind of default logic. You don't need to do it every time manually, so it's pretty can be done very fast for the developers if it's a standard thing. And the reason is because it has to go to the page, to some kind of route of the URL, and every workspace, there's no standard route for the list anymore in the concept of the workspaces. You can give the name of the route very different every time. However, when we're talking about end users, when you will build dashboards today in the dashboard builder, or which we advise you not to adopt yet, but in the next release, in the new dashboard creation experience, which we will highly advise you to adopt, there it will be automatic. As a developer who will once configure workspaces, or like the one which will ship out of the box, you will have this default navigation path, similar how you had in the classic dashboard, right? That the PA-based visualization will go to KPI details, the table-based visualization go to the list, and whatever other based visualization goes somewhere else. The only thing that your developer will be able to do, which they were not able to do before, is to change those defaults. If you say, in my workspace A, I want everybody always just go to the list, or I want everybody to go to completely different place. That's something that your developer will be do, but then when you will create new visualizations, you will not need to think about drill down. It will just work for you.
I think the important point that we should probably get across on this is not the standard way going forward that today's PA power user would create their visualization and their dropdown. This is just a truly just new features for the advanced. That is still yet the equivalent for the PA power user. That's still coming, and that's what we're talking about is coming in within Tokyo.
Yeah, that's accurate. So this is an alternative where developers had to create completely custom code before. Like what they had to write I don't know, like some Java code, some Angular, whatever the language they choose, they had to create completely custom pages, custom experiences. This will replace, and they can just drag and drop some component, add some few scripts. They don't have to, and it will just work. It's easy to upgrade. It's not going to break from release to release. It's easily get new features for the component.
And I'm going to add in, the upgradability is awesome about this. This is stuff that if you were going to try and do it, you'd be 100% custom. And now we've changed customization to configuration. It's advanced, but if you were writing custom visualizations before, and you were just, it required a super pro developer to be able to do it. And then you still had upgrade issues. Just you had to do a lot of testing. You could do it, but it was a lot of work. And now that you can get what used to require customization with configuration. I'm not going to use it every day. I'm not going to give this to all my users. But when you need this, the power is amazing. The flexibility is amazing. This is what I've been here 9 years. We've been asking for this since before I got here. So again, not for every use case. And as we're separating out the power users from the power users from normal users, as that builds out and we strengthen what what people are comfortable with their skill sets and what they want to see and how do I do it quickly. We weren't able to do everything with a simple interface. So as that builds out, that extends, that widens on the, it focuses in on the right type of persona for you and for your users. I'll just say that the flexibility that we're getting now is going to allow us to put some polish into ServiceNow. And we're not, many of us have run into a case where I have some C-suite executive and they just go, no, it doesn't look good. Give me a PowerPoint. We're now going to be able to answer that. And when appropriate, we have this incredibly powerful tool in our toolbox to give someone exactly what they want, if we're willing to do a little bit of the configuration. But once we do it, it's going to be supported. It's configuration, not customization. Just awesome power being exposed from here. But I do understand it's the right time and right place for each of the solutions.
Thanks.
We have a question. Dima came back in. Dima, you are allowed to talk if you want to just, I don't think there's any ACLs actually being forced on you. I think.
No, I think it's talking about the new. Yeah, there is the new function.
Yeah.
There is that is happening.
Right. We're going to be, it's going to be activated on all instances. And it seems that we already developed our own security model for the last 4 years on the account I'm on. And now this is throwing a monkey wrench into the whole thing. So I really don't understand why it's being forced on us, and what is the real advantage,
So I could talk about it really quickly to come through. We're talking about the report view ACLs.
Correct.
Yeah, I think so. I misunderstood, but
yeah, I know they've been rolling out. They've been rolling out slowly. They go through. I will say the security team is pushing this to come through. There was a security opening. I'll go through it. That we in the past we had to close with before query business rules to block somebody from seeing something. The aggregates didn't have ACLs being run on them because showing the number of incidents just doesn't matter, right? It generally doesn't matter. But as we have more sensitive data, it does matter. And so we wanted to make sure that you had the ability to block anybody from viewing any report. And if the number of HR cases by itself is an issue, then you want to be able to control who can even see that. And in the past, you didn't have that control with ACLs. You had to use before query business rules to block it. So the ACLs have been shipped, I think, off for a while, and I need to go. The security team is driving when they're getting turned on to what's coming through. We have the store app that helps you assess, is there going to be a problem or not? So I do recommend seeing that. Now, minimally, I mean, the thing you could do to stay status quo, if you're happy with what you have, would be when they upgrade on, you could certainly have an update set that's just going to go turn them all off, right? You can deactivate all those ACLs. You could deactivate all report view ACLs. Your system's going to act as it does today. I don't know that I would suggest that, but if you are very happy with your security, then you can keep your security. Right, just deactivate those. But by default, we want to turn them on because we do want to make sure that you have the most secure system you can have. For ZBoot customers, for new customers, we absolutely want them on. And for people to build their security model around that, you had to build your own. But we wanted to, we don't want to have people have to build things. Sorry. But I do recommend that we use the ACL assessment tool to see how you're going to be impacted when this comes in. Turning them off resets it. There's nothing in the system special outside of those ACLs that would do it. And then if this is causing you issue, and make sure you talk to your SC. We want to get that feedback. We get it back to our security team about what we need to do and how we need to handle this. I'm not. It's not great. This is causing you headaches. That's not what we want to do. But if you get that feedback back to your SC, to your account teams about that, we might be able to get something more connected into it. Because again, just the people on this call weren't consulted on the schedule on how we roll this stuff out necessarily. And we are driving just to make sure that you have your most secure system that you can have. And I think we all agree on that intent and what we want to have. So we can work to figure out how to make that happen. But again, please provide that feedback to your account team that you're not happy, so that ServiceNow, we can as a whole make sure that you're not pulling your hair out.
Okay, great. Thanks, Adam. We are a little bit past the top of the hour, so we need to go ahead and close this up. But thank you to Olga and Marta for presenting and showing those great new features. And of course, Adam, Dan, and Tara for being on as well to answer questions. So quickly, these are some slides that if you've been here, they kind of become familiar. But I just want to real quickly talk about and make sure that you're always using the community. So if there's anything that you asked today that didn't get answered, or if you're trying something that doesn't work, ask a question in the community. As many details and screenshots that you can apply will make the question easier to be answered. Of course, this will be out there later on today inside of the event. And of course, it'll be on YouTube as well. Make sure that you're utilizing Now Learning for many great things that are out there, even things that are coming with this San Diego release. There's some new things that are out there as well, but make sure that you're utilizing that. And there is a new PA Advanced on-demand courses. So check those out also. And these are some other great Academy sessions that are out there: the Creator Workflow and Platform Academy, Mobile App Academy, and Virtual Agent. So if you've not checked those out, take some time to look at those. There's great content in those as well. And then in 2 weeks, we're going to talk about homepage deprecation. So please be here for that. And with that, that should be it. Thank you. Sorry we went over a couple minutes, but we'll see everyone in 2 weeks. Thanks everyone for joining.